Hello there guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks very much for joining today. Before you get involved in the video, remember to hit like, comment and subscribe for more information. Anyway, so we're talking about the pros and cons of living with autism. As myself, as a 6+ year carnivore, living with autism on this giant fucking ball of earth and water. Here we are. So I want to say first is basically we're all here to get better, to learn something, to get a bit more educated, should we say. Sometimes education doesn't have to be factual, sometimes it can just be anecdotal experience, stuff like that. That's probably why a lot of you are here actually watching. But I do encourage you to definitely comment below with your own experiences about living with autism. So yes, I am a world premier bodybuilding coach in the space of carnivore, meat and fat based diet. Excellent. So what I want to talk about is the pros and cons of living with autism. So I'm going to go back a bit. So I was diagnosed roughly, should we say, let's say about nearly 10 years ago. So quite late on in life. No, I'm not 50, guys, for fuck's sake. Yes, I'll be swearing. Parental guidance and advisory is definitely recommended. Anyway, so yeah, so quite late in my life. I was probably about 20 or so. And what I basically found was I knew I had it already. You know, these online questionnaires, these tests, you know, tick, 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 tick. Oh, fuck me, I've got autism. Oh, what do I do about it? Nothing really that I know of. It basically turned out that I had to go to these post-diagnostic groups, learn about anxiety and all things like that. There's not so much that autism is the problem. It's not the thing that gives me the symptoms. It's all the stuff around it. So the sensory overload, the constant overwhelm, the social low social battery, things like that. And one of the biggest issues I've had personally has been with people. I'm talking about you. No, not you. It could be you. Potentially could be if you leave a nasty fucking comment. Got the rest of it. But yeah, I'm not going to be bitter in this video, but yeah, I do encourage positive comments below. So basically the pros of living with this are that it can be quite analytical. I can dive into topics of my interest to a great degree. The things that I'm interested in life, I happen to consider myself a bit of an expert in. But that's very few and far between. So we're talking about body composition, living with autism, health, medical science, stuff like that. Spines, got a spine disease, which is not much fucking fun. So yeah, I've got quite a broad background history, and that's quite evident the fact that most of my clients also have some sort of similar comorbidities. Now, the other pro that I want to talk about is essentially the fact that I can almost read situations in a much more different way to other people. I'm not always correct, but it gives me a different lens to other people, different scope, different idea, different way of projecting what the world around me is doing whilst I'm in it. I'll give you one example here. So I've got a few notes here. Let me have a sip first. Probably. Stay hydrated. It's ASMR. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, ASMR crew, hit me with a like where you can. Thank you very much. So routine is my religion, basically. So what you'll notice is any sort of video I talk about or what I go about doing my day, stuff like that, it's always based around a routine. Now, it's not that the routine is there for the sake of routine. Because my life is challenging some ways, and I appreciate a lot of other people's are as well, I have to live in a certain routine that allows me to work efficiently to get further ahead. So effectively, I'm compensating for the issues that I do have by creating potentially more issues with routine. Now, if other people do or don't comply with that, I don't know what it is, it can be challenging. It can cause a lot of relationship disruption. So, for example, I might have a hospital appointment at 2 o'clock. I might need a lift there. I might need to get an Uber. I know, okay, that's fine. That'll take about that long. That would give it. So I'll give it like a 3-hour block, maybe. It gives me time either side just in case I get stuck. Taxis aren't here. Bloody expensive. Cost me like 15. No, well, cost me about 10 to 30 pounds depending which hospital I go to just to get there. Then it's the same the way back. So yeah, that's another topic for another day. But routine's important, so it means that I can schedule myself well and carefully. Time management is very important as well. That's something that I learned very early on. I was quite fortunate with. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is attention to detail. Now, this can really piss people off. When I'm pedantic with things, or if I'm trying to go through with a fine comb to get things just right, even just recording this video, just to get myself in the golden angle, or whatever it is, a golden view, was a real pain in the backside. But it needs to be done. In fact, I'm a little bit off. Yeah, that's just awkward. I'm going to stay here for a bit, guys. That's all right. You can still see me. Yes? Yes. Brilliant. Okay. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is the cons. And the cons are kind of interlaced with the pros. Basically, I'm not everyone's cup of tea. I'm not everyone's flavor of the month. I'm a bit like Marmite. You love me or you hate me. A lot of people didn't hate me because I don't really give people much reason to. But, these are cons. So the sensory overload, like I mentioned earlier. So, for example, the gym. The gym is my happy place. The gym is how I earned this. So, British Finals Championship 2025. I've got 2024 one as well. This year I'm going to go for the 2026 one, which is basically the current British standard of bodybuilding for my category. So I'm competing as a disabled athlete in an even playing field this year, which will be much more enjoyable for me, much more fun. I like competition, but I like it when it's level, when you've got the same sort of start point as everyone else. That's what I think is important, guys. So the sensory overload in regards to the gym. Now, I had to leave mid-session quite often because just nervous system overload. There's bright white lights in the gyms. Sort of you're sat there, people tapping your shoulder. Oh, do you mind if I use that? Meanwhile, they've seen you just walk on towards that machine and just sit in it the first time all day. So it's it creates a sense of anxiety because not only is it the lights, the brightness, the sound, textures, smells, all sorts of smelly people in gyms. Some need to get their bloody deodorant on right now. Now. I don't know if they make clean ones, but if they do it, please, for everyone else's sake. Fuck. So yeah, the sensory overload in regards to the beeping. You're in a queue. Beep, 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 beep. People chatting behind you. People standing on your fucking ass when you're at a shopping centre. It's like, do you have to be 5 inches away from me? No. There's an extra 50 inches behind you could stand, but okay. It's almost a sense of anxiety. It's a sense of you're in my space. I don't know what you're going to do. It's almost like a fear of unknowing. So that's how I describe the sensory overwhelm. That's in regards to, physicality, I guess. Now, the other one is kind of interlinked as well. It's the social overwhelm, the social battery. Mine's fuck all. Fuck all. I can probably have one decent conversation a day, like on the phone for 20 minutes, half an hour. Then I'm battered. That's it. I'm absolutely fucked. So when I do consultations with people, they're booking for my time. They're paying me for that block of time. That block of time is worth something to me. And when you've got a spine disease, you can only lie down 20 hours plus a day, which is annoying. But you can only be upright like this. And I mean upright like this, or standing, or preparing food in the kitchen, maybe 4 hours a day at best. That's nothing. The pain is unreal. That gives me another layer to the sensory overload as well. But in regards to the social overwhelm, it's very strange. I have to mask. I have to pretend. I have to create scripts in my head. I have to imagine that I'm a sim in a way, like like the game Sims. Those people that go around and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, get that person to jump off that bridge and punch that guy in the head." I think I'm talking about a different game. It's probably GTA, but same concept. You basically, as long as I feel like I'm not in first person, I'm the third person. I'm the person controlling this body. I feel very disconnected. And that's oftentimes due to the social overwhelm. It's like I have to say, I don't know, say I'm waiting for a bus. There's not many seats left in the bus. There's one seat. And it's next to this very chatty person who happens to always talk your brain off. You think, when's the next stop? Because you're just not prepared for that conversation. You don't know what they're going to say, what they're going to do. But in my day-to-day life, I sort of surround myself with people that know me. They know what I'm going to do. They know where I'm going to go. They know what I'm going to roughly say, hopefully. I say a lot of crap, so I don't know about that one. But yeah, the social overwhelm can be tough. You don't always plan or script ahead in that sense. I say my social battery drains faster than the phone on 5%. You know, you're looking at it and it's gone. You just like a click, just like that, like Thanos. That's what I feel sometimes when my battery's that low. I feel like, I don't know if you've seen the film Avengers Endgame. You know, it gets the snap sort of thing, and everything goes to crap. It's like that. It's like you just imagine you're that close to complete obliteration, and that's a feeling I have most of the time. So that 5% is nearly all the time because I have chronic fatigue, which has been alleviated somewhat by the carnivore diet. I've had some minor improvements, but my condition with the spine does unfortunately lead to more fatigue over time. It does regress. It does get worse. But what I can control is how quickly that happens. It may be 3-4 years' time I'll be in a wheelchair. It might not be. I don't know. But my current standings, I seem to be okay at the moment. So yeah, that's from that side of it. But the pain definitely contributes. So a lot of people with autism have comorbidities, pain disorders, fatigue disorders, things like that. It seems to be related to mitochondrial function. I'm very well versed in my health conditions. Absolutely world expert level in most of the things that I live with. Fortunately, just because there's not much out there, it's not that hard. So content like this is hopefully useful to you guys. It gives you a bit of perspective that someone else out there is probably living perhaps a bit like you, or suffering in the ways that you do. You might notice the red light here. I find it very calming. I enjoy having it on. It makes me feel relaxed. Just situations like this, I don't feel quite as overwhelmed. And this overhead fucking white light up here, that's not much fun. But I don't like recording in the dark because, well, that's for a later time. You might have got the joke there, but you might not have done. But yeah, so yeah, it's the scripting of conversations. It's the mental blocks. I'm just here on my phone right now. I've got a few notes on my phone, but even then, I'm struggling to even read it because I can't talk there, look there, talk there. Also, don't want to be like reading it off the script, so it's frustrating. I need another sip. You guys better stay hydrated as well. It's very important. Delicious. Anyway, my brain is often saying, just say no and leave, just say no and leave, just say no and leave. But it's always the guilt afterwards. That's what drains you. Most people can go between conversations, between situations, and manage it okay, leave, okay, do your own thing, come back again, speak about this thing. I can't do that. My head's still running on full beam. I had a brain scan recently due to a seizure I had about 2 months ago. The peaks were bananas on my scan. And unfortunately, I don't, apparently, according to that test, have epilepsy, which is a bit of a relief because I don't want to be one of these people, you know. I live with A, B, D, C, D, E, F, G, LGBTQA 1+7 dial E chat GPT 149 disorder. You know, a lot of these things are obviously, like I said earlier, related to mitochondrial function, intestinal permeability, things like that. So we can do stuff about it, but sometimes the diet, the biohacks that I do, the 55 different things, guys, that'd be a video for another day. These things do take energy, they do take time. So I try to live in a way that's very, I have this perfect day, hypothetically. I try to stay within that sort of that bracket of like, this is what constitutes perfect day. I don't always get it right, and sometimes it's tiring to stay to the same routine. Like just yesterday, I was knackered. I didn't get anything done I wanted to really, other than, I don't know, shave my back because I'm a bit of a hairy bastard, but that's about it. That's another sensory thing. Prickly hair. I can't stand it. I fucking hate it. I hate having hair on my body. I hate wearing clothes. I really hate it. If I had it my way, and it's a social norm, I'd be walking around just in boxers all day. But unfortunately, we can't do that. So I'm sure some people out here might be saying, "You don't want to see that." Well, that's fine. You know, you can just not look at me. But that's how I feel as well. Sometimes I feel like I'm in society and people don't notice me. Sometimes I feel like an ant walking through cracked pavement. You know, everything's challenging. There's stuff going on around me, but I can't get around quicker. I can't get around better. So it's often the times that I feel quite hopeless in ways, or helpless maybe as well. I do often ask for help nowadays. It's very much needed. Chat GPT or Grok AI or whatever, software you might use can be a useful tool for that. It can help you plan things a bit better, understand social situations better. But unfortunately, I can't be talking to camera now and have Chat GPT projected into my head to sort of know these are what I want, these are things I want to say, these are things I don't want to say. I mean, this has already gone 15 minutes and I'm talking a load of shit and I've got through like 4 points or something. So do what you can do. We do what we can do. But yeah, it's the, I mean, the phrase we talk about is the autistic burnout. It's tough. It's tough. I mean, people watching this might not even be watching it. People with autism don't often really watch films. They're sort of overstimulated by it. I'm quite the same. So you might be listening to this, but if you do live with autism, I'm curious and interested to hear your own sort of experiences. There's quite a few things I could suggest and talk about in terms of situations, but it's hard to know what is different for me versus what is normal for me. It's not until you sort of zoom out and you get another person's perspective, oh, that's strange. Why do you cook your food this way? Why do you get to this place at this time? Why do you do this at this sort of this order? But in my head, it makes sense. It's strange, and it's not like OCD. It's a completely different thing. It's more of it's a logical reasoning thing which relates to my personality type. If I can't find logical reasoning with things, I don't often want to entertain the thing that it is. But but I'm fortunate. I'm online with lots of people, lots of other content creators. I've got my good friend DC from Australia, sometimes in Japan. He's a good guy. His channel's DC Rebuilding. He does some content around ADHD and a lot of breathwork stuff. It seems to me that the people in the neurodivergent community, like myself, living with autism, all these other things sometimes make more difference because it's not so much the diet all the time, the carnivore diet. Sometimes it's more about the perspective, the understanding, the ability to control your own body, the breath rate, things like that, your own internal homeostatic set points that you're trying to keep and maintain. Maintaining a steady heart rate for me is very hard. I see the red mist so often. It's atrocious. The feeling of self-doubt, feeling of failure, feeling of weakness, feeling of things overtaking you when you're trying to so hard to keep up. That's something that I don't anticipate living for much longer, to be honest. This today, time of recording, it's 7 days prior to my bonus year, effectively. Sounds miserable and morbid to say, but yeah, I didn't plan on being here a year ago. I was probably minutes away from ending everything for myself. And I do apologize if that upsets people, if that sounds triggering, traumatic. But people with autism do have drastically higher mortality rates in regards to suicidality and things like that. Living with CFS, so chronic fatigue, living with CRPS, which is related to my spine disease. I live with a perfect storm of things to just not commit to this earth, basically. It's a trifecta of hell. But like I said, I'm meeting people online. Juliet from Juliet's autistic experience, she's a friend of mine living in the US. She's also autistic. She has 3 autistic children. She struggles so much, and I just wish I could help her with some of the skill sets I have. But then she has some skill sets that I wish I had as well. Her introspection is world class, in my opinion, if we're to do a psychoanalysis sort of thing. Of course, if you've been following my channel for a little bit longer, maybe a month or 2, maybe 3 months, you know I've been very fortunate recently to meet a very, very, very lovely lady. She's not local, but she's local to me in spirit, which is very meaningful. So I don't know if I'd leave it here, really. I'd leave it here as a cliff note, really, or a cliffhanger. I encourage people to sort of get around the right social circles of people that understand you, and try and stay ahead, try and stay calculated, try and stay stoic. And just remember, every day that you're here, challenging things, trying to overcome things, beating set points, being objective, trying to beat your own goals, get better and better and better. That seems to be key, and I encourage everyone to go out there and do that for themselves. If you like this video, please hit like, leave a comment below, share your experiences. I will read them. I'd be interested to see what everyone else is doing out there in terms of like how they're coping and stuff. And just remember, every day that we're here, we are living the bonus round. So stay happy, stay carnivore. And thank you very much for joining. Cheers.
Build muscle and lose fat on the carnivore diet.